Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to talk about how can we implement the concept of navigation in Android Studio. In Android application, if you need to go from one activity to another activity, something like hyperlinks in websites, this is called intent. So we have a class called intent which allows you to go from one activity to another or either from one application to another application. So at first, let's create another activity. I already have a new project with activity called main activity. So how can we add another activity? In this case, just go here in the app folder and then inside the Java folder, inside the first folder of Java, just right click, select new activity and then empty activity, which means create a new activity. Let's suppose that we are going to call this activity as second ACT, second activity, and click on finish. Now we have two activity. The first one, which is the main activity, and another one, which is the second activity. Now let's suppose that we need to go from the first activity to the second activity. In this case, I'm going to the activity main, and here in the activity main, I'm going to draw a button. Okay. And let's give ID for this button. Something like implicit button, which means go from one activity to another activity inside the same application or inside the same project. Let's call this one as open activity. And let's add another button. Okay. And now I'm going to give ID for this button. Let's call it exp underscore button. I don't remember what I call it, this one. Implicit button. Okay, now here also explicit button. And here in the text, let's write something like open Google. So in this example, I need, if the user click on open activity, the second activity, which is empty activity, will be opened. But if the user click on open Google, the browser will be shown with the Google website. So how can we implement this example? Now let's go to the main activity, and here I'm going to write something like emp button dot set on a click listener, which means if the user click on the implicit button. In this case, I'm going to create an object from the intent class. This class is used to navigate from one activity to another activity or from one application to another application. So in the first one, to navigate from this, which means from the current activity, which is main activity, to second ACT. The second ACT is the name of the second activity. Then add double colon and select class and Java. Then write this function, which is start activity I. So very simple, as you can see, it is only two lines which allow you to navigate from one activity, which is the current activity, to the second activity, and then use the function start activity I to implement this one. Now, what about the explicit button, which allow you to navigate from your application to another application, which is the browser, and open the Google website inside it? In this case, I'm going to write something like explicit underscore button dot set on a click listener. Also here, you need, of course, object of the class intent But here, in this example, you don't need to pass the name of the activity, but instead you write something like URI dot parse, and the name, in this case, the name of the website you are going to. For example, http www.google.com. Okay, this is the first one. The second one, or here, I am going to add also something called intent.action underscore view. So we have two parameters in this code or in this object. The first one, or sorry, the second one, using the URI.parse to pass the website name, which is Google in this example. Of course, you can use Google, Yahoo, whatever. Then the action. The action means what is the activity will be open inside the other application. For example, in the browser, you have two actions, which is the action view to display the website and the action search if you need to open the browser with the purpose of search. Of course, from where we can get all those actions from the website developers.android.com. If we go to the developers.android.com, search for action, you can get all the actions for all the applications. Now, just add start activity I. Now let's try this example. Run and click on OK, and let's see the result inside our emulator. So now if we click on open activity, yes, as you can see here, the second activity has been opened. What about if I click on open Google? It go to the browser, and yes, as you can see here, it start to open the Google website. So in this video, we have talked about how can we use the intent class to implement the concept of navigation either from one activity to another activity inside the same application or from one application to another application. Okay? In the next video, we are going to use the same class for sending and receiving values. So see you in the next video.